Content farms are annoying. What are content farms? Basically low-effort content mostly aimed towards iPad kids who don't know any better. Usually centered around bad horror games or memes like Skibbity Toilet or Fortnite or Gagadee Gadagadayo. Puppet Combo is an American independent video game studio responsible for creating retro PS2-style survival horror games. Creating games since 2014, it was only a matter of time before these games finally gained the recognition they deserved when their 2021 release, Murder House, gained widespread critical acclaim. As per usual, Roblox sees something popular and then decides to rip it off. Now, Roblox ripoffs are not inherently bad at their core, as having recognizable features in a well-made game can help it reach new audiences that it otherwise wouldn't have been able to. A good example being The Butchery, inspired by Resident Evil 7, or Far From Land, being kind of based off of Five Nights at Freddy's. But these horror games I'm about to talk about are so manipulative, so evil, so maniacal. They literally have 3 endings, but you can only get one, because the other 2 endings you have to purchase with Robux. I just want to say, before we proceed with this video, I fucking called it. And may I mention, they purposely made the free ending really shitty. That or they're just really bad at writing stories, I don't know. Which is crazy because these games are considered story games. The story and gameplay of these games are based around monotonous, menial labor, except you don't get paid for it. But the man who's forcing you to do it gets paid. These games follow the same structure. You clock in and work your 9 to 5, then something scary happens, and then you have to run away. And then you get to decide if you want to get the free ending or the paid ending. The end. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to suplex that like button. When I say you have to work your 9 to 5, I really mean it. Like, I really mean it. Like, 90% of the game is just talking to customers, picking up items, cleaning things. Jesus Christ. You know, nothing is better than getting off work to go home and clock into your Roblox job. Am I living in the metaverse? And these segments of the game go on for at least 30 minutes. They're so boring, so dull. You do the same thing over and over again on repeat. The literal definition of insanity. You're allowed to talk to the customers, which kind of prevents the game from being just a glorified puppet show, but you can't change the outcome. The dialogue is the same every time, but you're forced to click through it as the game decides your own path against your own will. They don't even let you go AFK through this all. You're literally being used. And why are these game developers adding all this padding, you may ask? Well, if it wasn't there, the game would be over in 2 minutes, and that would be very, very sad. Why? Premium payouts, of course. I already talked about this in my video talking about the experience games, but basically, premium payouts will reward developers with Robux if Roblox premium users stay in the game for a long time, which incentivizes Roblox developers to add all sorts of methods to pad out their games and keep you in them for as long as humanly possible. Even if you don't have premium, you aren't saved from this trap because Roblox's algorithm kind of just favors long average playtimes overall, so yeah, you normal people get to play the victim too. This entire series of games is just a massive flaming car pileup that we all happen to be caught in. Seriously, when we played Midnight Cleaners, 3 out of 4 of us were trapped in the floor and unable to do anything for almost the entirety of the game. That's the closest thing to purgatory that a man can experience. Also, speak of the devil, did I mention that the creators of these games also originally started out by making those experience games as well? I can't tell if they made them or if they're just stolen code like the rest of them are, because I'm not going to play them. You already took enough of my dignity. Point is, when I'm playing a Roblox horror game of any kind, I should be scared, or at the very least, intrigued or interested in what's happening. I shouldn't want to Jim's computer myself. Might as well add a game pass where I can buy an ending where I hold E to drink the bleach. After making 5 copies of the same game, these people actually did go on to make a game that I truthfully kind of enjoyed. It's this game where you and your parents go to this Easter buffet, but for some reason your parents go into the buffet alone to have mommy and daddy time, and they make you hang out with this weird bunny thing. Okay, Lois Griffin looking. The padding in this game isn't really apparent, and the few parts that it is there, it's rather well hidden and incorporated in the game as cutscenes or things that are important to the plot. Like, there are some really lengthy cutscenes, and you do have to find 15 eggs for the Easter bunny, but that's excusable here because it actually makes sense to do that in the context of the narrative, and it's not just making you do the same thing 10 times over to make money off of you. So yeah, the Easter Bunny kidnaps you after you've collected all 15 eggs and then takes you to his van to play round 2 of his game called Find the Carrot. You get kidnapped in a van that has back seats. Like, damn! I thought the kidnapper vans only had, like, front seats. What a luxury. You get taken to this house that's literally underground, and the only way to get in and out of here is the attic door, and the entire house is filled with locked doors and mechanical puzzles. You know, your standard Resident Evil setting, I suppose. In fact, the game seems to reference Resident Evil a few times to the point where the devs couldn't have possibly been foreign with the franchise. Like, every time that you go through a door, it plays the annoying-ass door cutscene from the original Resident Evil, which was made because the original game was on the N64 or whatever, and this cutscene was basically a glorified loading screen. I can't help but imagine that they added this in just to pad out the playtime, because in the original Resident Evil, the doors look different. Like, things stand out from each other so you know where to go. But in this Roblox game, all the doors look the exact same. The deadbolt doesn't even swing open during the cutscene. It's purposely meant to, like, be confusing, I think. The bulk of your playtime is walking around the house with the key, trying to find the right door in the house where all the locked doors look the exact same. It's kind of annoying is all I'm saying. And clearly whoever modeled the keys thought the same way, because all the keys look different, as if they're supposed to fit in different locks. Maybe there was a lack of communication between departments. Maybe they were just too busy to make different models for the locks. Seriously, Piggy was able to do this when they made the locks different colors. There's no excuse. So as you explore the house, you come across these sisters in a padded room who are revealed to have been injected with several different parasites. Why, you may ask? Well, when you read the Book of Curses, it's revealed that the Bunnyman is experimenting in order to turn people into literal zombies in an attempt to infect the entire world, and I'm not kidding. In fact, the name Book of Curses is a literal reference to the first Resident Evil game. I really felt like the meme of the two Wojaks pointing when I played through this. Anyways, the entire plot thread is thrown out the window because the free-to-play ending just has you escaping and running to the cops, and that's it. Which is so bizarre to me because yes, you did get kidnapped, but while you're at the house, you're constantly reading documents explaining what this guy's true intentions are, building a mystery of some sorts. And in order to see that mystery, you're going to have to pay up, I'd imagine. I'm saying I'd imagine because I'm not giving any more money to these people. I mean, sure, you made 6 bad games that took advantage of children, and now you made one kind of a good game. You killed 3 men but let 1 go, and that's still not good. This isn't Dead by Daylight. For the last segment of this video, I just want to give some attention to a good game called Descent. It was by my friends Fab and Konami, who are really good people, and they've done quite a bit for me in the past. The only problem is that I can't really talk about their game for a full video since it's basically just Lethal Company. And there's nothing really wrong with it either. It's really well made and ironed out. I just didn't have any problems with it. It's a good game if you're into Lethal Company, go play it, I guess. It's just... I mean, it's a good game. There you go. I recommend it. Go play it. Link in description. As always, I'm Breadian and I talk about niche Roblox games. Please, if you enjoyed this video, suplex that like button, subscribe, and check out my channel because I cover Roblox games like this literally all the time, and you are bound to find something you like. At least one thing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.